everyone, and welcome to the Hump Day edition of The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras, in the state known in free America as California. But, as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, my name is Mike Poworski. I am the co-host from the East Coast. That's the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, where we promise to bring you two-way views of conservative news here on The Rundown.
Now, you guys might notice we're a little bit early today, but that's one of the things that happens when you're not just entrepreneurs and work and family and all that other stuff. And we figured we had to make a choice, and it was either come at you early or not come at you at all. And, there's just too much juicy stuff to talk about today to not come at you at all today. So here we are.
Here we are. We're at it again. We're moving out. We're moving out.
And the best part is, though, Mike, we're here on Hump Day.
Dude.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
Woo woo! That is what we call Hump Day, and that's our Hump Day remix, by the way. As we've said before, the reason we use the Hump Day remix is because, we don't get flagged by the YouTubers and by the Facebookers for copyright infringement. So that's how we get down.
That's how we have to do it. Sometimes you just got to get it, you get by. Sometimes you got to figure out the way to beat the man.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And so we try to do it, and we try to do it well.
and sometimes we even accomplish that.
Sometimes we even accomplish doing it well. There you go. I hear you, sir. I hear you. All right. So, hey, why don't we go ahead and let's just jump right into it, because I know we got places we got to be. So we'll start off with our first story. And I know that when you guys saw this, this is probably not the first time you've heard this today, but it'll be the most interesting time that you've heard it. I will guarantee you that. And this has to do with President Biden and his newest plan in order to promote racial equity. In his effort to promote equity, let's just put it this way. He has basically decided that he is going to fund the distribution of crack pipes. That's right. He is planning on distributing crack pipes. Now, this matter has actually, first of all, let me show you this. And here's the reason why this is so funny. And this is, by the way, this is a funny video. So you guys this is Tucker Carlson. He is being satirical. But you have to enjoy this video, and then we'll talk a little bit about the specifics of the program or the plan that he's putting in place.
Americans. You may recall that on his first day in office more than a year ago, the new president explained that equity will require determination and creativity, and this week he proved that's true. Joe Biden's latest idea is to pay black people to smoke more crack. Going forward, the administration will send at least $30 million in tax money to nonprofits and local governments so they can purchase, quote, safe smoking kits and supplies. According to HHS, these kits will contain Joe Biden-approved pipes that will allow beneficiaries of the equity agenda to smoke crack cocaine as well as crystal meth. Some say it's about time. Soros-aligned NGOs have long complained that marginalized groups in this country don't have adequate access to illegal narcotics or the tools to use them. With this new program, Joe Biden will finally close the crack gap. For too long in America, quality crack pipes have been the domain of rich white men like so much else. Here's the president's son, for example, smoking crack in bed at the Four Seasons. You'll notice the beautifully designed custom crack pipe, its cooling bowl nestled in the high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets. When Hunter Biden smokes crack, he does it in style. But not everyone in this country is so fortunate. Try to toast some rock in West Baltimore sometime. You may have to make the pipe yourself from tin foil or a broken car antenna. Our inner cities are pipe deserts. Talk about the new Jim Crow. Bull Connor would be proud. Bull Connor didn't think black people deserved new crack pipes. Joe Biden's going to change that.
All right. So once again, I found that to be hilarious. But the whole point that they're making is that in this bill for racial inequity, the bill itself was supposed to be about racial inequity, but included in there was some policy stuff that their goal was to say, doing illegal drugs, it can be dangerous to your health. And we want to reduce the likelihood that it's dangerous to your health. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it safer to use illegal drugs. And one of the things they noticed was crack pipes. Crack pipes bad. So let's make sure people have nice, clean crack pipes so that they don't smoke. Well, what's funny about this, and Mike, this is the even funnier part about this whole story, was that Snopes actually had the opportunity to fact check it. And we all know how Snopes does their fact checking, right? So first of all, what they did was they noted that it was mostly false. And Mike, here's the point why it's mostly false. Well, that wasn't the direct purpose of the program, but it was one of their considerations. Now, Mike, how do you fact check something and call it mostly false by pointing out that it was mostly true?
Crack pipe or not, Craig? That's all they want to know. That's evidently how Snopes, by the way, how they approve or disprove these theories is they're on the crack. They're on the crack. They're on the dope. They're on the weed. They're on the rock. Whatever it is, they're on the meth, and that's what's going on over there. It's a weird hippie couple petting their cat. They think they let the cat do all the picks, but this is just another great reason for having voted for Biden, folks. If you voted for him, you should reach back there and stab yourself in the back because you're doing no good for the rest of us. We need you gone. We do. Yeah,
smack yourself right in the back of the head. What's been hilarious about it is, even my brother, who is, and David, my brother is a left winger. He is, and even he is like, WTF? Whose idea was this? Who thought this was a good idea?
See, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. Nobody. This is like when you got that one friend, and you just let them wear whatever they want to wear and do whatever they want to do. It's because they really don't have any friends. Because if they had real friends, they'd say, "What are you doing? No, don't do this." A real friend would stop you. It just goes to show that Biden doesn't have any real friends. This is probably something, Craig. This is probably the one thing he thought up on his own. By the way, everything else they got planned going on, with the secretaries, the department secretaries and the chief of staff. This was one that they left him alone for a few minutes, and he's like, "Crack pipe ceramics, crack pipe ceramics." That's where this lunatic's gone.
It is hilarious. It is hilarious. And when we get into our into our parting shot, you'll see just how hilarious it is. This is going to be an endless source of memes. Let me just put it to you that way.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Now, you guys know that we've talked about New York City, the violence there. We talked about the fact that they actually wound up electing a quote unquote pro anti-crime, law and order Democrat. Well, then the first thing that this law and order Democrat does is institute or reinstitute an anti-gun task force tasked with going out and seizing people's guns. Primarily, they're supposed to be going after criminal guns or crime guns, but so far they've been an epic fail at doing that. How do we know that they've been an epic fail at doing that? Well, one only need look at the numbers so far. In his first month in office, New York City shootings up 32%. Now, I'll tell you, Mike, how weird this is or how bad this is. Keep in mind that they already had year over year, 2019, 2020 had a record number of shootings and murders up from 2019. And 2021, same exact thing. So here he is, the anti-crime, quote unquote, governor, or what's more like the anti-gun mayor of New York. Well, he's epically failing at stopping crime and clearly in stopping gun crime or crimes involving guns.
Yeah, this is a fail all the way around, and again, the true victims here are those people of New York. Those people that just want to get on with their lives, get on with their jobs. They got some Some news this week that they're taking out the mask requirement inside restaurants, and they're telling that the business owners that it's now voluntary to ask for the COVID card. So Craig, they've had crime committed against all of them there. Again, we've seen the crime rate go up, and you can't help blame, right? This is the last couple of mayors there that just allowed this to go, and now you've got. Listen, a former police captain. He's he's in there. He's trying to do everything he can, and people are giving this guy a hard time. Listen, what are you doing? Stop and frisk again? Stop talking frisk. Don't forget that. Yes, sir. We're abiding by the Supreme Court's decision to try and take bad guys with guns off the streets. That's the goal. If you don't like it,
right.
Move to New Jersey.
And that's the key, folks. We're talking about bad guys with guns, and by bad guys we mean criminals. Right?
Yeah.
It isn't just being a jerk does not make you a bad guy with the gun. It may make you a jerk with a gun, but it doesn't make you a bad guy with a gun.
Right.
And by the way, contrary to what the left would have you believe, being a white guy with a gun doesn't make you a bad guy with a gun either.
Very true.
If you're a white criminal, then yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna do criminal stuff. You're gonna play criminal, games and win criminal prizes. So just know that. Exactly.
Okay, continuing along the news train. Okay, this is one that hit me because this is actually right here in my city. Stockton, California was one of the first places to institute to test out the idea of basic guaranteed income. Then we've seen a number of other cities in the Bay Area start to institute programs, and other places start to institute programs like that. And then we had via what was supposed to be COVID relief, we saw the federal government institute their version of it, their test version of it, which is by basically increasing the child tax credit $300 per month, or $300 per month per child, or basically $3,600 a year per child, and then now they want to expand that. Well, now it's not, the idea of expanding this is not just about making sure that it's available for those who are in need, but in the city of Sacramento, the Mayor Steinberg, has proposed basic guaranteed income for artists. Now, I don't know what's worse, what they attempt to define as art, or the fact that they think that taxpayers, people who actually go out and produce stuff that people want, produce stuff that people need, contribute to the economy, that we ought to have money taken out of our hands and put into the hands of those who simply want to, live whatever life and live their life however and whatever they want to do, and call themselves artists. Mike, I have no idea what to say about this. Except hell no.
Hold that back up again. Where's that picture again? Because you said they were showing the picture. That's
City Hall.
And is that the mayor standing next to it with the herringbone?
No, that's an advertisement.
Oh, okay. I thought we were looking to take a look. I was like, hey.
Join fashion.
I don't know why there's space in there, but it's it's not a bad picture.
But read this. He says basic income programs have produced positive outcomes for individuals and families, and we are eager to try this approach in Sacramento. Many artists struggle to get by financially, and a small infusion of funds could get them the ability to focus on their work without fear. Mike, I wish I could focus on my work without fear. You know what I fear? I fear not earning a paycheck, doing something that someone's not willing to pay me for. And you know how I leave that fear? I start doing stuff that people will pay me for.
Yeah.
I produce work of value, and people pay me for it.
Now, is this something, Greg, where you think we can expand this program for, a guaranteed basic income for artists? Why don't we just call it what it is? Welfare for the unemployed.
Or redistribution of wealth.
You might be a struggling artist, but you know what that means? That means you're unemployed. Okay? That means you get a job.
How about this? If you are a struggling artist, it means that you're not good enough to be a professional artist. How about that?
Yeah. Right?
Look, by the way, I am a struggling professional athlete. I need to be supported by the government because I don't make enough for people to pay me to play basketball.
There you go. Hey, so we're gonna need a little supplement over here, a little taste, a little something,
Yeah,
So give it to me.
exactly. Give you a little taste, a little something over there. There you go. Anyway, but dude, it is the heart of stupidity. And the problem is that what people don't understand is this: they act like this money comes from nowhere. It doesn't come from nowhere. You and I
Oh,
pay it, right?
Again,
Our children pay it. Our grandchildren pay it.
all of your tax failures there in California and every other state that happens to be out there in blue and hasn't happened.
Yeah, well,
And you've got a request from the federal government to get it. Guess what? It's not going to happen on the next cycle. You saw this with the last President Trump. He said, "Well, I don't think I have to give him that money. I don't think we're going to give him the money for doing this in the Pacific Northwest because when we did give him money, they spent it on other things. It's really like giving your kid money to go pick up some gas and they come home with magic beans kind of nonsense.
Pretty much that's kind of the way it works. Government funded magic beans, but they'll probably be organic.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Vegan nonsense.
Vegan. Okay. All right. Now this next one was this next one I don't know how relevant it is, but I actually found it kind of interesting, right? And I found it interesting because there was there was a person who was basically, they were concerned that this individual was going to be mass shooting. He had made a number of threats against various different people. He put hundreds of videos out on YouTube, once again, promoting both racist information, both putting out racist threats, as well as threatening, some of it was sexist, some of it was pornographic, yada, yada, yada. And what I found interesting about it was that you didn't see a lot of stories about this in the mainstream media. And when you did, Mike, there were a couple of things that seemed to be pretty common about this. The first is people seem to recognize that, this guy was a threat. We knew he was a threat. They say right here, and Steven students are like, look, they're slamming UCLA because this guy was the UCLA lecturer, right? For downplaying mass shooting threat after reports of suspects' racist manifesto. Now, there was a bunch of stuff out there that this dude did and this dude said, but the other thing that I found was interesting was you couldn't find a photo of this guy anywhere, right? Because we all know that if you're a college professor and you're a potential mass shooter and you put out racist threats, we all know that you must be a middle-aged white guy. Except, I think I figured out, Mike, why they were downplaying this guy's identity, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Why? I don't know, Craig. I can't figure this one out. It's so difficult. Hold on, let me see if I can't find the right narrative here in the manual.
Hold on, let me put the picture up again in case you missed it. Okay. There is something very obvious about this picture that is different from what one would think when you hear about this. Once again, he's a philosophy professor or instructor.
I can't tell, Craig. I can't. I'm not allowed to say, Craig, because if I say I'm a racist,
but maybe it's he's clean shaven. Is that what it is? Is it because he's clean shaven?
He's clean shaven. Yeah, he's clean shaven.
There you go.
Very nice, short, efficient haircut there. Also.
Nice, short, efficient haircut. The point is, Mike, is that basically he got a clean bill of health, or not a clean bill of health. They refused to show pictures of him in most mainstream media. That was Fox News, by the way. The only place I could find a picture of the guy. But they won't show a picture of him because he's black. And, we don't have black mass shooters. We don't have black people who write manifestos threatening to shoot up and kill people and blow people up. We don't do that. Black people don't do that.
If you remember the joke, right? You remember the joke? It's about one of the Golden Girls. That when they say when you hear about a mass shooter, you know who it's not. Eddie White. Eddie White.
Exactly. Anyway, dude, I find the whole thing to be beyond obnoxious, and I'm like, why can't you just report on who the guy is and report on what he did? If the guy's a dirtbag, I don't care what color he is. I don't care what
Yeah,
race he is. I don't care what gender it is. I don't care what gender identity is. I don't care what he identifies as. I don't care what his sexual preferences are. I don't care. What I care is he's a bad guy who threatened people, who sexually harassed
That's right.
people.
Yep. Time to go. We got one more flight for you. You got to go, baby.
Time to go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. But, you know, we all
He's
know
okay.
the mainstream media aren't the only ones. Okay, so now, Mike, I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to start I'm going to start our parting shots off. And, folks, we both got to run early, which is, once again, the reason why we did the show early. So that's why we're running through these kind of quick, but we wanted to make sure we got these in for you. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, and this is, once again, going back to the first story about the crack pipes. Now, I know many of you out there voted for Joe Biden primarily because you wanted him to take care of our your student loan debt, right? Nope. Look, I want my student loan debt canceled. Well, the best I can do is a free crack pipe. But wait, Mike, there's more.
Nice.
Because, you know, not only did he do this, but he broke. I mean, this is a historical thing. It's so historical that even Kamala Harris, his vice president, had to comment on it. You know what she had to say, right?
Oh, boy, if it was the president, I know what she said, but I don't know what Kamala would have said. What did she say?
We did it, Joe. Free crack pipes for Black History Month.
Woohoo!
Promoting racial, or dispelling or getting rid of racial inequity. We will make sure that black people get to smoke the same quality of crack pipe as does the president's son. Right now, it's guaranteed.
Very appreciative of them. Yeah.
And you know, this is him fulfilling a campaign promise because you know what he said, right? You remember when he said, you know, if you don't know if you're going to vote for me, then you ain't black.
Yeah, right.
Well, that takes you to this is how we know because he is now officially delivered. If you don't hit this, you ain't black.
What a clown. Is that even him?
What a clown. You know what? And the funny part is, this is just one day of GIFs. I mean, of memes. You know that there are going to be a bunch more memes that are going to be coming out, making for a fun discussion. So, Mike, you want to do me a favor? Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors before we go.
There we go. Sorry, so lost you there for a second. Yeah, let's say hello to our good friends from Guerrilla Machining, from Grid Defense, and of course the California Republican Assembly.
That's right, folks. Please, once again, follow them in the link. You can see the description of this video. You'll find a link to each one of them. Go there, check them out, and make sure that you tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. With that, I want to remind you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. The Rundown is the place, the premier place, every day, every weekday, to find 2A news and conservative views. I'm Craig, he's Mike, and we are out.